Hi, PA Camping Dad, Doogie here, and I'm going to give you a review of Tato gears. I think it's called the AB13 Hybrid Max stove. I happen to be the first to choose at the Maha raffle at the $50 and under table, and I chose this little stove package. This is how I received it. I'm not sure how standard it is. Well, I added some things inside the pouch, but the pouch came with it. And inside I have the alcohol burner itself. Now the 13 Max Hybrid is a larger diameter stove, and it is still a remote feed. It's got his zero clearance connector there, so it's not going to hang up on anything when it's in the storage sack or in your pack. No feet under it, so it sits flat on the surface that you're cooking on. Also in the stove, in the package, it came with a bottle for alcohol. I had filled that, didn't come filled. Comes with a remote feed, piece of tubing, and another low profile cap, so again there's nothing to poke and get caught up in things. Now I've found that I'm going to use it, I think, most of the time without the remote feed. Hi, Kenny. What you got? So I also threw in a lighter, a small piece of foil to give it a little insulation, reflect some heat back up. I won't be using that today right now because I'm going to do a demo on the 2Q ZQ tree table, and I have a larger panel to block the wind from underneath for that, that I keep with that tree table. Also gives you a set of instructions. I have not followed the QR link to see what else he's got. So one of the things is it's a very high powered stove with the large wick area and then the jets on the outside, and I'll show some pictures that I filmed inside in semi-darkness so that you can see the flame patterns. But I think for a lot of my use I'm going to use a caldera cone, and you really don't need that much heat. A lot of heat gets reflected, so I wanted to, and I like to do baking, so I wanted to get a simmer ring. So as I was playing with this, I happened to notice that the size, I don't have all my pieces here, but the size looked very similar to some little discs of aluminum that I've saved over the years from Pillsbury cinnamon rolls, the little icing container, plastic container, and it has an aluminum lid that rests on it. And I noticed that that was the exact right diameter, same diameter as the stove. So I took one of those and I carved out slots for the legs and cut out a hole in the middle to make it a simmer ring. Nature of the beast, it's pretty thin aluminum, and cutting it, it's hard to get it to rest flat. And what I noticed is very shortly after starting, it would basically bloom all around the outside of the perimeter of the simmer ring, I guess. So I took that as my template and proof of concept, and I had some heavier aluminum, and I cut a little disc out of aluminum that seems to work much better. It still will eventually, when it gets fully heated up, it still will bloom around the edges, but I've had I've had over 20-minute burns with it. I have found that it varies a lot depending upon how much fuel you put in and how you put the fuel in. I found if I have the simmer ring off and saturate the whole felt and then put the simmer ring on and light it, it burns differently than if I have the simmer ring on, just put the alcohol in the center. It takes longer to bloom to the outside. Anyway, I took a couple videos earlier that didn't work out too well. Well, it just wasn't consistent. because wind had an issue. It was breezy today. It was windy the day that I first tried to make these videos, and in fact, when I lit the stove, it was blowing so hard that flame was coming, and I didn't have a full block on my tree table, on the underside of my tree table, and the flame was actually coming out from underneath, being blown down, sucked down under the tree table. So naturally, I did not get very good boil time. I didn't even get it to boil in those conditions. So I've tweaked my system a little bit. Anyway, I'm going to get another alcohol container that I have marked, because I only want to put either 20 or 25 milliliters, just under an ounce. I think 29 milliliters is an ounce. This is a 2-ounce container. I'd like it if I could get 3. This is about 60 milliliters in here, or 65 maybe. I'd like if I could get 3 burns out of that. It'd be nice, but 3 boils. But we'll give it a test on the tree table. Here is one of those discs that was the lid to the icing for the cinnamon rolls. I figured I'd show one that had been unmolested. So I'm going to put, I have like 45 milliliters in here now. So let's try that. Start the timer. Well, as you can hear, I had a flock of birds come in and roost in the trees above me. It's been a little over 10 minutes. Probably about 8.5 minutes. It went to the full bloom inside. You could feel the heat being produced. There's a lot more now, and I wouldn't touch the outsides anymore. At like 4 or 5 minutes, you could touch the outside. It was warm, but not hot. So still cranking along. So I would expect to boil soon. At 12.5 minutes, 12:31, and the pot's talking. So you can't hear it over the birds, but it's in fact, it looks like it's boiling. I'm seeing it come out. I don't know whether you're catching that in the video. Just starting to boil. Definitely a boil. Not a full rolling yet. So 13 minutes. Yep, 13 minutes boil. Real world conditions. Wow, turn off the birds. Now we're to a full rolling boil. One of the things I found with this table is set the lid over there, let it dry out. So we're rolling boil right now. So that took 13 minutes, and it was breezy while it was going, on and off. I'll keep it, just watch the boil until it stops and see how long it goes. I'm at 14 minutes now. I guess I ran out of battery. Well, my boil started at 13 minutes, went strong to 15 minutes, was still burning at 16 minutes, and I think it's out now. I'll check it. We're at 17.5 minutes right now. And yeah, we're out. Not cool yet. Well, my battery ran out on me before I could wrap up that video of my new Tato Gears AB13 Max stove. I must confess I like his products. I started by getting an Element, and I certainly have given that a lot of use. Then wanted to try an alcohol stove that was not DIY, so that I could comply with scouting regulations and use it on scout campouts. So I got Tato's AB13 Hybrid. It's a nice little package, but it's a little small, a little tippy, and when I saw this I thought it really was going to hit what I wanted out of it. So I think I haven't decided if I'm going to carry the remote feed or not, but this setup, remote feed adds another 9 grams or 0.3 ounces. And this is my setup that I think I'm going to carry. I got 2 ounces of alcohol there, a lighter, my little guard for if I'm on a picnic table, and then I carry these 3 items together. The stove itself, a baking ring to raise my muffin cup off the bottom of the pan, and my simmer disc. And that sits nicer underneath. A little stack like that slides right in. And I said that's 4.5 ounces with the full 2 ounces of alcohol in the little pouch, and then 4.8 if you add the remote fuel setup. But it's really nice stove. I really like his pot holder and the zero clearance nipples, so that when you put the hose on you don't have something pokey sticking out to get broken off. I think that could be helpful for any remote feed stove. A great little idea of his. Get out there and have fun.